how much of someone's abilities, mental, physical, passion, their ability to lead, how much do those separate things play into the overall kind of perception of a player on how they are going to develop and move on to the next level? Because I think what happens in baseball can translate, again, to so many different industries or jobs based on those things.
It's huge, Bobby. If when I go in to see a player, I only scout our guys that we have in the minor leagues. If I don't know a guy very good, I'll spend some time with the coaches and just give me a rundown on this guy. What do you think? Does he want it? What's he got in here? Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part for a scout, is to know what's in here. Mm. Because the analytics tell you a lot, what a guy's done in the past. The media guide tells you what he's probably capable of each year. It's not very often that a guy's going to go from 3 home runs to 30 home runs.
Right.
So you've got that to look at. And, I can tell the guys in the game and how they act in the locker room. I'll give you an example. I'd be shocked, and this isn't a very good example because he's a very good player and hitter, but Vinny Pasquantino, who everybody's clamoring for in Kansas City, get him here, let's go.
Yeah.
And Bobby Witt's the same way. He was the same way off the field and on the field. But Vinny is a locker room rat. He loves to be in the locker room. Mm-hmm. He loves to be with his teammates. He pumps guys up. He's always making fun of himself. He's a big guy, 6'4", 250, and he's just – you can tell he just loves being at the ballpark every single day, and that's what you look for.
Right.
Because if they have the ability to hit the ball and catch the ball or pitch the ball and throw strikes, they're probably going to make it, but the really good ones have to have a passion for it.
Well,
so I use that word all the time.
Yeah, they got to have the heart. Why don't you talk a little bit about how that translates to our business, hiring for?
Yeah, I mean, we do exactly the same thing. So we tell people all the time that, they got to have the heart and the passion. We can teach them everything else, right? Now they might have, certain skills, and then we can fine tune those skills, in the particular businesses that we're in. But if they don't have the heart and the work ethic, we really can't do much from there.
Right.
And I can, really see that from a baseball perspective. You have all these analytics and, all these measurements out there, but it's really hard, to measure that heart, kind of like the NFL Combine.
Oh, yeah.
You hear all these stories of these guys going to NFL Combine. They're just freaks of nature when it comes to the physical ability.
Yeah.
But when they go to a pro camp and put on the pads, and if they don't have the heart, they flame out. Right?
Well, we do a tremendous job with the Royals when we scout kids. The amateur area scout, they call them in-home visits. When they go see a guy, they've seen him play 3, 4, 5 times, get a relationship with the player before he signs, before he gets drafted. And then they go in and meet the family. They talk to people who have coached them. They talk to teachers. They talk to the mother and father, if that be the case, and really get a good feel for the kid before we give them a lot of money to sign. And I'm not just saying the number 1, number 2, number 3 picks. We try to do that with every pick and have the scouts really get to know every single kid that we're going to possibly draft.
That's good.
Right.
I mean,
and most people wouldn't know that, right? We would have no idea.
I'm hearing what they're talking about for baseball, and I'm thinking this is exactly what we do.
Right.
When we hire and we interview. We can get a let's just say a loan officer,
right,
who's got great stats, who does a ton of loans, right? And they look on paper like they'd be a great fit. Oh, let's bring them onto the team. They'll really help the business. But they might just be a giant jerk. Mm-hmm. It's not a culture fit. They don't have the heart, and they just think that they're better than everybody else.
Exactly.
So therefore, we completely stay away from people like that.
Well, that's exactly what Dina said earlier, right? You can tell everyone about someone how they treat everyone, whether it's the Uber driver, the bus boy, your server, whatever that is. And in our business, there's several rock stars that we've turned away because they would come in and they just wouldn't treat the support staff
right. How do you treat the first person when you walk into the office? If Patty or Sierra sitting at the front desk, if that person's a jerk to the very first person at the desk, they're probably not going to be very good with the rest of the team.
So
members.
I shouldn't have told Patty I don't like you.
This is the ABC Podcast.